Today, we've got something super exciting lined up for you. We're diving into powerful lessons that can transform the way you face life's challenges, overcome obstacles, and stay grounded in success. Ever wondered how to ditch those pre-packaged scripts and handle anything life throws at you like a pro? Or why taking the scenic route might just be the best decision you ever make? What about staying humble and true to yourself when you're riding high on success? And let's not forget, how do you really know when your first impression is just plain wrong? Stay with us as we explore these incredible lessons and more. We're talking about real, practical wisdom from the ancient philosophers that you can apply in your daily life. Ready to train your mind, embrace the long journey, stay grounded, and test your impressions. If you enjoy this series, make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and give us a thumbs up. And don't forget to write "Keep it up" in the comments if you love this series. Let's get started. Lesson 1. A trained mind is better than any script. Ditch the cheat codes, level up your life skills. All right, folks, let's talk about being prepared for life's curveballs. Forget those pre-packaged scripts and canned responses we've been taught to rely on. We're diving into the power of a trained mind, a mind that's adaptable, resourceful, and ready to tackle any challenge that comes its way. The script kiddie syndrome. We live in a world that loves scripts. We have scripts for job interviews, first dates, even breaking up. We memorize lines, follow formulas, and try to fit ourselves into predetermined molds. But here's the thing, life rarely follows a script. It throws us curveballs, unexpected twists, and situations that no pre-written dialogue could ever prepare us for. As the boxer Mike Tyson famously said, "Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth." The philosophical upgrade. The ancient Stoics, like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, understood the importance of mental agility and adaptability. They believed that a trained mind, one that's been honed through practice and discipline, is far more valuable than any script or formula. As Epictetus put it, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In other words, it's not about having a perfect plan. It's about having the mental fortitude to adapt to any situation and make the best of it. So, how do we ditch the scripts and cultivate a mind that's ready for anything? 1. Embrace the unknown. Life is full of surprises. Instead of fearing the unknown, embrace it as an opportunity for growth and adventure. As the philosopher Alan Watts said, "The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance." 2. Cultivate curiosity. Be a lifelong learner. Read books, take courses, explore new ideas, and challenge your assumptions. The more you learn, the more adaptable and resourceful you'll become. As the physicist Richard Feynman said, "The first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool." 3. Practice problem solving. Don't shy away from challenges. Embrace them as opportunities to flex your mental muscles and develop your problem-solving skills. As the inventor Thomas Edison said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." 4. Develop emotional resilience. Life is full of ups and downs. Learn to manage your emotions, cope with stress, and bounce back from setbacks. As the psychologist Susan David put it, emotional agility is the ability to be with your emotions with curiosity, compassion, and especially the courage to take values-aligned action. 5. Build a strong inner compass. Know your values, your priorities, and your purpose. This will help you make decisions that are aligned with your true self, even when the going gets tough. As the philosopher Immanuel Kant put it, act in such a way that you treat humanity, whether in your own person or in the person of any other, never merely as a means to an end, but always at the same time as an end. Let's explore how this concept is applied in daily life. The adaptable entrepreneur. When faced with a sudden market shift or a global pandemic, the adaptable entrepreneur pivots their business model, finds new opportunities, and thrives in the face of adversity. The resilient athlete. After a devastating injury, the resilient athlete doesn't give up. They rehab diligently, adapt their training, and come back stronger than ever. The creative problem solver. The creative problem solver doesn't get stuck in a rut. They approach challenges with a fresh perspective, think outside the box, and come up with innovative solutions. The bottom line. A trained mind is your most valuable asset. It's more powerful than any script, any formula, or any pre-packaged solution. By embracing the unknown, cultivating curiosity, practicing problem solving, developing emotional resilience, and building a strong inner compass, you can create a mind that's adaptable, resourceful, and ready for anything. As the philosopher Seneca put it, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. So, prepare your mind, folks, and get ready to seize the opportunities that life throws your way. Lesson 2. The long way around. Why shortcuts suck and the scenic route is where it's at. All right, folks, let's talk about taking the long way around. No, we're not talking about getting lost on a road trip or taking the scenic route to avoid traffic, although those can be fun detours. We're talking about a deeper, more philosophical approach to life, one that values the journey as much as the destination, that embraces challenges as opportunities for growth, and that recognizes the value of slow, steady progress over quick fixes and shortcuts. The shortcut seduction. We live in a world that's obsessed with speed and efficiency. We want everything fast. Fast food, fast fashion, fast results. We're constantly looking for shortcuts, hacks, and life hacks to get us where we want to go faster. But here's the thing, shortcuts often lead to dead ends. They might save us time in the short term, but they rarely lead to lasting satisfaction or fulfillment. As the saying goes, the shortest distance between 2 points is not always a straight line. The philosophical detour. The ancient philosophers like Confucius and Lao Tzu understood the importance of taking the long way around. They believed that the journey is just as important as the destination, if not more so. As Confucius put it, it does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. In other words, progress, no matter how small, is still progress. And the journey itself is often where the most valuable lessons are learned. So, why should we ditch the shortcuts and embrace the scenic route? 1. Deeper learning. When we take the long way around, we have more time to learn, to explore, to experiment. We encounter obstacles, make mistakes, and learn from our failures. This deeper learning leads to greater understanding, wisdom, and mastery. 2. Character building. Challenges build character. When we face adversity, we develop resilience, grit, and determination. We learn to push through our limits, overcome obstacles, and never give up on our dreams. As the saying goes, smooth seas do not make skillful sailors. 3. Unexpected discoveries. The most interesting and rewarding experiences in life are often the ones we didn't plan for. When we take the long way around, we open ourselves up to unexpected discoveries, serendipitous encounters, and life-changing opportunities. 4. Greater appreciation. When we work hard for something, we appreciate it more. When we take the time to savor the journey, we develop a deeper appreciation for the destination. As the poet Mary Oliver put it, instructions for living a life. Pay attention, be astonished, tell about it. Let's explore how this concept is applied in daily life. The entrepreneur's journey. Successful entrepreneurs rarely achieve overnight success. They often face years of struggle, setbacks, and failures before they finally break through. But it's this long, winding road that teaches them the most valuable lessons and ultimately leads them to success. The artist's creative process. Artists don't create masterpieces in a single stroke. They experiment, iterate, and refine their work over time. They embrace the messy, unpredictable nature of the creative process, knowing that the final product will be worth the effort. The personal growth journey. Personal growth is not a quick fix. It's a lifelong journey of self-discovery, learning, and transformation. It involves facing our fears, challenging our beliefs, and stepping outside our comfort zones. The bottom line, taking the long way around, is not about being inefficient or wasting time. It's about embracing the journey, learning from our experiences, and growing as individuals. It's about recognizing that the most valuable things in life are often the ones that take time, effort, and dedication to achieve. As the philosopher Lao Tzu put it, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Lesson 3. Don't let this go to your head. Your philosophical guide to staying grounded when you're on top of the world. All right, folks, let's have a real talk about success. Not the "I'm so rich I can buy a private island" kind of success, but the kind that comes from hard work, dedication, and a little bit of luck. We're talking about the promotions, the awards, the recognition, the moments when you feel like you're on top of the world. The success seduction. Success is intoxicating. It feels good to be recognized, praised, and admired. It's easy to get caught up in the hype, to start believing your own press, and to let your ego run wild. But here's the thing, success is fleeting. It can disappear as quickly as it arrived. And if we're not careful, it can turn us into arrogant, entitled jerks who lose sight of what truly matters. As the philosopher Socrates famously said, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." In other words, even when we achieve success, we should remain humble, open-minded, and eager to learn. The Stoic reality check. The ancient Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, understood the dangers of letting success go to your head. They emphasized the importance of humility, gratitude, and staying grounded in reality. As Marcus Aurelius put it, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." In other words, we often seek validation from others, even though we know deep down that our own opinion of ourselves is what truly matters. So, how do we avoid the success trap and stay grounded when we're on top of the world? 1. Remember your roots. Don't forget where you came from. Remember the struggles, the sacrifices, and the people who helped you along the way. As the saying goes, humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. 2. Practice. Gratitude. Be grateful for your success, but don't let it define you. Remember that there are many factors that contributed to your success, including luck, timing, and the support of others. As Oprah Winfrey said, "Be thankful for what you have, you'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough. 3. Stay hungry. Don't rest on your laurels. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving for excellence. As the basketball legend Michael Jordan said, "I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." 4. Give back. Use your success to make a positive impact on the world. Mentor others, support charitable causes, or simply be kind and generous to those around you. As the saying goes, to whom much is given, much is expected. 5. Stay humble. Remember that you're not better than anyone else just because you've achieved success. Treat everyone with respect, kindness, and compassion. As the philosopher Confucius said, humility is the solid foundation of all virtues. Let's explore how this concept is applied in daily life. The humble CEO. The humble CEO doesn't flaunt their wealth or power. They treat their employees with respect, listen to their ideas, and give credit where credit is due. The grounded athlete. The grounded athlete doesn't let their fame or fortune go to their head. They stay focused on their training, their teammates, and their goals. The grateful artist. The grateful artist doesn't take their talent for granted. They continue to practice, experiment, and push their creative boundaries. They use their platform to inspire and uplift others. The bottom line: success is a double-edged sword. It can bring joy, fulfillment, and opportunities, but it can also lead to arrogance, entitlement, and a loss of perspective. By remembering your roots, practicing gratitude, staying hungry, giving back, and staying humble, you can avoid the pitfalls of success and use your achievements to make a positive impact on the world. As the philosopher Lao Tzu put it, knowing others is intelligence, knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength, mastering yourself is true power. Lesson 4. Test your impressions, your BS detector for a world full of fakes. All right, folks, let's talk about impressions. No, we're not talking about celebrity impersonations or doing your best Elvis impression, although those can be entertaining. We're talking about the initial judgments we make about people, situations, and events based on limited information. We're talking about those gut feelings, those snap judgments, those first impressions that can often lead us astray. The impression-obsessed culture. We live in a world that's obsessed with first impressions. We swipe right or left on dating apps based on a few photos and a witty bio. We judge job candidates based on a 30-minute interview. We form opinions about people based on their social media posts or their appearance. But here's the thing. First impressions are often misleading. They're based on superficial observations, stereotypes, and our own biases. As the saying goes, don't judge a book by its cover. The philosophical reality check. The ancient philosophers like Socrates and Buddha understood the importance of questioning our impressions. They taught us to be skeptical of appearances, to dig deeper, and to seek out the truth. As Socrates put it, the unexamined life is not worth living, but we could also say, the unexamined impression is not worth trusting. So how do we avoid falling into the trap of false impressions and make more accurate judgments about the world around us? 1. The skeptic's stance. Approach every situation with a healthy dose of skepticism. Don't just accept things at face value. Ask questions, seek out evidence, and consider alternative perspectives. 2. The devil's advocate. Play devil's advocate with your own assumptions. Try to argue against your initial impressions and see if they hold up under scrutiny. As the physicist Richard Feynman said, the first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. 3. The information gatherer. Don't rely on a single source of information. Gather information from multiple sources, especially those that challenge your existing beliefs. As the journalist Walter Lippmann said, the real environment is altogether too big, too complex, and too fleeting for direct acquaintance. We are not equipped to deal with so much subtlety, so much variety, so many permutations and combinations. And although we have to act in that environment, we have to reconstruct it on a simpler model before we can manage with it. 4. The open mind. Be open to the possibility that your initial impressions are wrong. Be willing to change your mind when presented with new evidence or a compelling argument. As the philosopher Bertrand Russell said, the whole problem with the world is that fools and fanatics are always so certain of themselves, but wiser people so full of doubts. 5. The time test. Give people and situations the benefit of the doubt. Don't rush to judgment. Observe their behavior over time, get to know them better, and see if your initial impressions hold up. Let's explore how this concept is applied in daily life. The job interview. Instead of judging a candidate based on their appearance or their resume, ask probing questions. Give them a chance to demonstrate their skills and check their references. The online dating profile. Don't swipe right or left based on a few photos and a catchy tagline. Take the time to read their profile, get to know them through messaging, and meet them in person before making a judgment. The political debate. Don't just listen to the pundits and the talking heads. Do your own research, read articles from different sources, and talk to people with diverse perspectives. The bottom line. Our impressions are not always accurate. They're often clouded by our biases, our expectations, and our limited experiences. By cultivating a skeptical mindset, gathering information from multiple sources, keeping an open mind, and giving people and situations the benefit of the doubt, we can make more informed, accurate, and compassionate judgments about the world around us. As the philosopher Voltaire said, doubt is not a pleasant condition, but certainty is absurd. Lesson 5. Judgments cause disturbance. Your brain's a drama queen. Don't let it steal your zen. All right, folks, let's have a heart-to-heart about something we all do, but probably shouldn't. Judging. No, we're not talking about judging a book by its cover or a reality TV show, contestants' fashion choices. Although, let's be real, we've all done that. We're talking about the judgments we make about ourselves, others, and the world around us. We're talking about the snap decisions, the assumptions, the labels we slap on things without a second thought. The judgmental junkyard. Our brains are like junkyards, filled with rusty old judgments and preconceived notions. We judge people based on their appearance, their accent, their job, their social media posts. We judge situations based on our past experiences, our biases and our fears. We judge ourselves based on our perceived flaws, our failures, and our shortcomings. But here's the thing, judgments are often inaccurate, unfair, and downright harmful. They create division, conflict, and unnecessary suffering. As the Buddha said, holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. The Stoic Serenity Solution. The ancient Stoics, like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, understood the destructive power of judgment. They believed that our judgments, not external events, are the primary cause of our emotional turmoil. As Epictetus put it, it's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things. In other words, it's not the traffic jam that makes us angry, it's our judgment that the traffic jam is a terrible inconvenience. It's not the bad news that makes us sad, it's our judgment that the news is bad. So how do we break free from the judgmental junkyard and cultivate a more peaceful, open-minded perspective? 1. Awareness is key. The first step is to become aware of our judgments. Notice when you're making a snap judgment about someone or something. Pay attention to the thoughts and emotions that arise. 2. Question your assumptions. Don't just accept your judgments as truth. Question them. Ask yourself, is this really true? What evidence do I have to support this judgment? Am I being fair and objective? 3. Practice empathy. Try to see things from the other person's perspective. What might they be going through? What might their motivations be? By cultivating empathy, we can reduce our tendency to judge and increase our understanding of others. 4. Focus on the present moment. Judgments are often based on past experiences or future projections. By focusing on the present moment, we can let go of our judgments and experience the world as it is, without the filter of our preconceived notions. 5. Cultivate acceptance. Not everything is going to be to our liking. People will disappoint us, things won't always go our way, and the world will continue to be a messy, unpredictable place. By accepting this reality, we can reduce our suffering and find peace in the present moment. Let's explore how this concept is applied in daily life. The road rage incident. Instead of judging the driver who cut you off as a jerk, consider that they might be rushing to the hospital or dealing with a personal crisis. The social media judgment. Before you judge someone based on their social media posts, remember that you're only seeing a curated snapshot of their life. You don't know the full story. The self-criticism spiral. Instead of judging yourself harshly for your mistakes and shortcomings, practice self-compassion. Remind yourself that you're human and everyone makes mistakes. The bottom line. Our judgments are like mental chains that bind us to negativity, conflict, and suffering. By becoming aware of our judgments, questioning our assumptions, practicing empathy, focusing on the present moment, and cultivating acceptance, we can break free from these chains and experience a more peaceful, joyful, and fulfilling life. As the philosopher Marcus Aurelius put it, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. So, choose your thoughts wisely and let go of those pesky judgments. Lesson 6. If you want to learn, be humble. Your ego's a tripwire on the path to wisdom. All right, folks, let's have a heart-to-heart about humility. No, we're not talking about being a doormat or putting yourself down. We're talking about a quiet confidence, a recognition of your own limitations, and an insatiable thirst for knowledge and growth. We're talking about the kind of humility that opens doors, builds bridges, and paves the way for lifelong learning. The ego's roadblock. We all have egos. It's that part of us that craves recognition, validation, and a sense of superiority. It's the voice in our heads that says, "I know it all, I'm better than them," or "My way is the only way." But here's the thing. The ego is a roadblock on the path to wisdom. When we're blinded by our own self-importance, we miss out on opportunities to learn, grow, and connect with others. As the philosopher Socrates famously said, I know that I know nothing. The humble advantage. Humility is not about thinking less of yourself. It's about thinking of yourself less. It's about recognizing that you're not the center of the universe, that you have a lot to learn, and that there are people out there who are smarter, more talented, and more experienced than you. But humility is not a weakness, it's a strength. It allows us to 1. Be open to new ideas. When we're humble, we're more open to hearing different perspectives, challenging our own assumptions, and changing our minds when presented with new evidence. As the physicist Richard Feynman said, the first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. 2. Learn from others. Humility allows us to learn from everyone we meet, regardless of their background, education, or social status. As the saying goes, everyone you meet knows something you don't. 3. Build stronger relationships. Humility makes us more approachable, likable, and trustworthy. It allows us to connect with others on a deeper level, to build rapport, and to collaborate effectively. 4. Cultivate a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. Humility is a key component of a growth mindset, as it allows us to acknowledge our limitations and seek out opportunities for improvement. 5. Achieve greater success. Paradoxically, humility can actually lead to greater success. When we're humble, we're more likely to seek out feedback, learn from our mistakes, and collaborate with others. This can lead to better decision-making, greater innovation, and ultimately, more success. Let's explore how this concept is applied in daily life. The humble CEO. The humble CEO doesn't micromanage their employees or hoard credit for their successes. They empower their team, encourage collaboration, and create a culture of learning and growth. The lifelong learner. The lifelong learner is always reading, taking courses, attending workshops, and seeking out mentors. They never stop learning because they know that there's always more to discover. The wise elder. The wise elder doesn't pretend to have all the answers. They share their wisdom generously, listen to others with respect, and acknowledge their own limitations. The bottom line, humility is not about self-deprecation or false modesty. It's about having a realistic assessment of your own strengths and weaknesses, being open to learning from others, and recognizing that you're just a small part of a much larger universe. As the philosopher Lao Tzu put it, knowing others is intelligence, knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. So, ditch the ego, embrace humility, and unlock the door to a lifetime of learning and growth. Lesson 7. Reject tantalizing gifts. Your philosophical guide to dodging golden handcuffs and shiny objects. All right, folks, let's talk about temptation. No, we're not talking about that extra slice of pizza or that irresistible sale at your favorite store, although those can be tough to resist. We're talking about the seductive allure of tantalizing gifts, those seemingly irresistible offers, opportunities, or rewards that promise to make our lives better, easier, or more exciting. The siren song of temptation. We live in a world that's constantly tempting us with shiny objects and quick fixes. We're bombarded with ads that promise to make us thinner, richer, happier, and more successful. We're offered promotions, bonuses, and perks that seem too good to pass up. But here's the thing, these tantalizing gifts often come with hidden costs. As the Greek myth of Tantalus warns, the pursuit of fleeting pleasures can lead to eternal torment. Tantalus, a king who angered the gods, was condemned to stand in a pool of water beneath a fruit tree with low branches. Whenever he reached for the fruit, the branches would raise up, just out of reach. Whenever he bent down to drink, the water would recede. He was eternally tantalized, but never satisfied. The philosophical reality check. The ancient philosophers, like Socrates and Epictetus, understood the dangers of temptation. They warned against the pursuit of fleeting pleasures and emphasized the importance of focusing on what truly matters: virtue, wisdom, and inner peace. As Epictetus put it, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. In other words, true wealth lies not in material possessions or external rewards, but in inner contentment and freedom from desire. So, how do we resist the siren song of temptation and make choices that align with our long-term well-being? 1. The long view. Before you accept a tantalizing gift, take a step back and consider the long-term consequences. Will this decision lead to greater happiness and fulfillment in the long run? Or will it just be a temporary high followed by a crash? 2. The value check. Does this gift align with your values and priorities? Is it something that will truly enrich your life, or is it just a shiny distraction? As the philosopher Immanuel Kant put it, act in such a way that you treat humanity, whether in your own person or in the person of any other, never merely as a means to an end, but always at the same time as an end. 3. The opportunity cost. What are you giving up by accepting this gift? Is it worth sacrificing your time, your energy, your relationships, or your values for this temporary pleasure or reward? As the economist Milton Friedman said, there's no such thing as a free lunch. 4. The gut check. Listen to your intuition. If something feels too good to be true, it probably is. Trust your gut feeling and don't be afraid to say no, even if it means missing out on a seemingly great opportunity. Let's explore how this concept is applied in daily life. The golden handcuffs. Job offer. You're offered a high-paying job with a prestigious company, but it requires long hours, constant travel, and sacrificing your personal life. Is it worth it? The Faustian bargain. You're offered a shortcut to success, but it involves compromising your values or ethics. Is it worth sacrificing your integrity for a temporary gain? The social media influencer deal. You're offered a lucrative sponsorship deal with a brand that doesn't align with your values. Is it worth selling out for a quick buck? The bottom line, temptation is all around us, but we don't have to fall prey to it. By taking the long view, checking our values, considering the opportunity cost, and trusting our gut, we can make choices that lead to lasting happiness and fulfillment, not just fleeting pleasure. As the philosopher Viktor Frankl put it, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Lesson 8. Less is more. Your minimalist manifesto for a richer life and a happier brain. All right, folks, let's talk about minimalism. No, we're not talking about stark white walls, empty shelves, and a wardrobe consisting of 5 identical black turtlenecks. We're talking about a mindset, a way of life that prioritizes quality over quantity, experiences over things, and intentionality over mindless consumption. We're talking about decluttering your life, your mind, and your soul to make room for what truly matters. The more trap. We live in a culture that's obsessed with more. More money, more stuff, more followers, more likes, more. We're constantly bombarded with messages telling us that we need to have more to be happy, successful, and fulfilled. But here's the thing. More is a mirage. It's a never-ending chase that leaves us feeling empty, stressed, and overwhelmed. As the minimalist writer Joshua Becker put it, the more you have, the more you're occupied. The less you have, the more free you are. The philosophical roots of minimalism. The concept of less is more has deep roots in philosophy. The ancient Stoics, like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, emphasized the importance of simplicity, frugality, and focusing on what truly matters. They believed that by detaching ourselves from material possessions and external validation, we could achieve inner peace and tranquility. As Seneca put it, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. The minimalist mindset. Minimalism is not about deprivation or self-denial. It's about making conscious choices, prioritizing what's important, and letting go of the excess that's weighing us down. It's about creating space for what truly matters, our relationships, our passions, our personal growth. So, how do we embrace the minimalist mindset and start living a richer, more meaningful life? 1. Declutter your life. Start by decluttering your physical space. Get rid of anything you don't use, need, or love. This includes clothes, books, gadgets, furniture, anything that's taking up space and adding to the mental clutter. As the Japanese organizing consultant Marie Kondo says, keep only those things that speak to the heart and discard items that no longer spark joy. 2. Simplify your schedule. Are you overscheduled? Are you saying yes to things you don't really want to do? Learn to say no more often and prioritize the activities that truly matter to you. As the author Greg McKeown put it, if it isn't a hell yeah, it's a no. 3. Curate your digital life. Our digital lives can be just as cluttered as our physical ones. Unsubscribe from email lists you don't read. Unfollow social media accounts that don't inspire you, and set limits on your screen time. As the digital minimalist Cal Newport put it, digital minimalism definitively does not reject the innovations of the internet age, but instead rejects the way so many people currently engage with these tools. 4. Focus on experiences. Experiences create lasting memories and enrich our lives in ways that material possessions can't. Instead of buying the latest gadget, invest in a trip, a concert, a workshop, or a meal with loved ones. 5. Cultivate gratitude. Take time each day to appreciate what you have, rather than focusing on what you lack. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to the more trap. Let's explore how this concept is applied in daily life. The capsule wardrobe. Many people have embraced the concept of a capsule wardrobe, which consists of a small number of essential clothing items that can be mixed and matched to create a variety of outfits. This simplifies their morning routine and reduces decision fatigue. The tiny house movement. The tiny house movement is a social movement where people are choosing to downsize their living space and live in homes that are typically under 400 square feet. They've found that living with less stuff leads to more freedom, more financial security, and a greater appreciation for the simple things in life. The digital nomad. Digital nomads are people who work remotely and travel the world. They've embraced a minimalist lifestyle, owning only what they can carry with them and focusing on experiences rather than material possessions. The bottom line: less is more. It's a simple yet profound concept that can transform your life. By decluttering your life, simplifying your schedule, curating your digital life, focusing on experiences, and cultivating gratitude, you can break free from the more trap and create a life that's richer, more meaningful, and more fulfilling. As the designer Dieter Rams put it, less but better. Lesson 9. Becoming an expert in what matters. Ditch the jack-of-all-trades mentality and master your craft. All right, folks, let's talk about becoming an expert, not the kind who can rattle off random facts at a trivia night or impress their friends with obscure knowledge. We're talking about the kind of expertise that comes from deep focus, deliberate practice, and a passion for your chosen field. We're talking about mastering your craft, becoming a go-to authority, and making a real impact on the world. The jack-of-all-trades trap. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with messages telling us to be well-rounded, to have a diverse skill set, to be a jack-of-all-trades. But here's the thing. Being a jack-of-all-trades often means being a master of none. When we spread ourselves too thin, we rarely achieve true excellence in any one area. As the saying goes, a jack-of-all-trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. While there's some truth to this, it's important to remember that true expertise comes from focusing your time, energy, and attention on a specific area of interest. The philosophical focus. The ancient philosophers, like Aristotle and Confucius, understood the importance of specialization and mastery. They believed that by focusing our efforts on a particular craft or discipline, we could achieve a level of excellence that would benefit both ourselves and society as a whole. As Aristotle put it, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. In other words, expertise is not something that happens overnight. It's the result of consistent effort, deliberate practice, and a commitment to lifelong learning. So, how do we break free from the jack-of-all-trades trap and become experts in what truly matters to us? 1. Identify your passion. What are you truly passionate about? What makes your heart sing? What do you love learning about and doing? Your passion is your fuel, your motivation, your driving force. When you're passionate about something, you'll be more willing to put in the time and effort required to master it. 2. Focus your energy. Once you've identified your passion, focus your energy on it. Don't try to be everything to everyone. Say no to distractions, prioritize your time, and create a schedule that allows you to dedicate significant time and effort to your chosen field. 3. Deliberate practice. Expertise doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of deliberate practice, the focused, intentional repetition of specific skills and techniques. As the psychologist Anders Ericsson, who popularized the concept of deliberate practice, put it, the right sort of practice carried out over a sufficient period of time leads to improvement, nothing else. 4. Seek out mentorship. Find mentors who are already experts in your field. Learn from their experience, their wisdom, and their mistakes. Ask for feedback, guidance, and support. As the saying goes, a mentor is someone who sees more talent and ability within you than you see in yourself and helps bring it out of you. 5. Embrace failure. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the process. Every expert has failed countless times on their journey to mastery. The key is to learn from your mistakes, adjust your approach, and keep moving forward. Let's explore how this concept is applied in daily life. The chess grandmaster. Chess grandmasters spend countless hours studying the game, analyzing their own games, and practicing with other players. They dedicate their lives to mastering the intricacies of chess, and as a result, they become some of the most skilled and respected players in the world. The Michelin-starred chef. Michelin-starred chefs spend years honing their culinary skills, experimenting with new techniques, and perfecting their recipes. They're passionate about food, dedicated to their craft, and constantly striving for excellence. The award-winning author. Award-winning authors don't just write one good book, they write many. They dedicate themselves to their craft, constantly learning and improving their writing skills. They embrace feedback, revise their work relentlessly, and strive to create stories that resonate with readers. The bottom line: becoming an expert is not about being the best at everything. It's about finding your passion, focusing your energy, practicing deliberately, seeking out mentorship, and embracing failure as a learning opportunity. By mastering your craft, you can make a real impact on the world, achieve your full potential, and live a life of meaning and purpose. As the philosopher Confucius said, "Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life." Lesson 10. Pay your taxes. Your philosophical guide to civic duty and why you shouldn't be a tax-dodging jerk. All right, folks, let's talk about something that might not be the most exciting topic, but it's definitely important: paying your taxes. Now, before you roll your eyes and start thinking about all the ways you can avoid paying your fair share, hear me out. We're not just talking about numbers and spreadsheets here. We're talking about civic duty, social responsibility, and the philosophy behind contributing to the greater good. The tax evasion temptation. Let's face it, nobody likes paying taxes. It feels like we're handing over our hard-earned money to a faceless government bureaucracy. We hear stories about wealthy individuals and corporations dodging taxes, and we might be tempted to think, why should I pay my taxes when they're not? But here's the thing: tax evasion is not just illegal, it's unethical. It's a selfish act that undermines the social contract and harms our communities. The philosophical foundation. The ancient philosophers like Plato and Aristotle understood the importance of civic duty and social responsibility. They believed that we are not just individuals, but members of a community, and that we have a responsibility to contribute to the well-being of that community. As Plato put it, the heaviest penalty for declining to rule is to be ruled by someone inferior to yourself. In other words, if we don't take responsibility for our communities, we risk being governed by those who don't have our best interests at heart. The social contract. The social contract is an implicit agreement between members of a society to cooperate for social benefits. This means that we agree to follow the laws, pay our taxes, and contribute to the common good in exchange for the protection and services provided by the government. As the philosopher Thomas Hobbes put it, without government, life would be solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. In other words, without a functioning government, we would be living in a state of chaos and anarchy. So, why should we pay our taxes? 1. Funding essential services. Our taxes fund essential services like schools, hospitals, roads, police, and fire departments. These services are essential for the well-being of our communities and the functioning of our society. 2. Promoting fairness and equality. Taxes help to reduce income inequality and provide a safety net for those who are struggling. They fund programs like Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, which provide essential support to millions of Americans. 3. Investing in the future. Our taxes also fund research and development, infrastructure projects, and other investments that benefit our society in the long run. 4. Fulfilling our civic duty. Paying taxes is not just a legal obligation, it's a moral one. It's a way of showing that we care about our communities and that we're willing to do our part to make them better. Let's explore how this concept is applied in daily life. The public school teacher. Public school teachers are paid with tax dollars. They educate the next generation, prepare them for the workforce, and instill in them the values of citizenship and civic responsibility. The firefighter. Firefighters are funded by tax dollars. They risk their lives to protect our homes and communities from fires and other disasters. The nurse. Nurses are paid with tax dollars. They provide essential care to the sick and injured, and they play a vital role in our healthcare system. The bottom line, paying your taxes is not just about following the law, it's about being a responsible and contributing member of society. It's about investing in our communities, supporting essential services, and promoting fairness and equality. As the saying goes, taxes are the price we pay for a civilized society. So, do your part, folks, and pay your taxes. It's the right thing to do. So there you have it, folks. Remember, a trained mind, embracing the journey, staying grounded and testing your impressions are key to navigating life with wisdom and resilience. If you found these lessons valuable, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep striving for greatness and stay stoic.